What's going on, guys? YB Trading here, and today I am going to be talking about the pre-market watch list that I've already created. Now I do this talk just before going live, but what I've found is it takes a while for me to actually talk about the stocks a bit in detail. So from now on, I'm going to try to make videos on these watch lists so that we're ready when the market opens. Now, with that being said, let's get to the watch list. So, before I go into the watch list, guys, yesterday we traded the NEO. Okay, so most of us were in the live stream were there when we took this NEO trade right over here. So my average was about 41.13s. It tested our patience quite a bit. Stop initially was trailing behind or underneath the VWAP. So we did that, and I was kind of a bit optimistic about NEO, and I did mention quite a few times that, look, guys, if it does give me quite a few partials, which was over here, first partial was here. This was long, by the way. That first partial taken here, and second partial will be around 42s. So I believe I took it here. Might have been, yeah. So around 42s, I took a second partial, and the rest I've got a runner, which is swinging. Okay, and I clearly stated this out yesterday, and everybody who follows me in the stream should know that I'm gonna leave a little bit of a room for my stop. This is my original stop. I trailed the stop underneath the VWAP at the moment. So I said if it closes strong, anything over the VWAP, I'm gonna swing this thing. So I am swinging it, and guess what, guys? It's doing really well. So hopefully some of you kept it for a swing. And you guys always mention that, well, I don't mention what I could give you much earlier warnings. Well, that was your quite an early warning right here. Actually, I mentioned. So right now it's trading at 43.20s. Massive move from where we entered. So quite a bit of a swing running there. So best of luck with that, guys, when it opens. Hopefully you guys kept some. But anyways, let's not divert away from the main thing we were supposed to do, which is to talk about the watch list. Right. So news, NUZE. Yesterday, around 10:30s, 10:40 started running. There was some news behind it. There was some catalyst behind it. There's a partnership. Okay. So yeah, its partner coffee roaster, yeah, coffee expands product availability. Okay, so they are basically expanding its product availability in the Walmart stores, which seems to be having a really positive effect to the stock. So this will be a stock to watch as well, simply for the fact that it has carried on and held this move. It hasn't really sort of faded off. Usually with these kind of moves, if the catalyst isn't strong enough, it will fade off quite a bit. But it held it. That's a good sign. And also, it's actually gapping up today slightly, as you can see. So I am going to be watching this. As you see here at the top with massive volume is news, right? And I will be watching the level around 6s and 5s. Those were the two key levels for me to watch. And if it starts to wash off of 5, underneath 5, I will think this could actually fade off. I'm not going to have too strong bias on it, but as long as they are staying between those two levels, I'm fine. Not to trade it. But if it does take out those two levels, I could trade it both sides. So 6 over 6s, looking for longs, over under 5s, possible shorts. But we'll have to wait for the right setup for that. RIVN has been running. As you know, this is a really one of the most talked about IPOs recently. And we're going to be watching this, but if you do trade this, it's going to be quite rangy. So you must understand the risk behind it. So you're going to have to take a really small amount of shares, and I'm going to keep it on the side, probably trade it on the side as well. but definitely it has some range, could produce some decent opportunities as you saw yesterday. um, Really nice moves, breakouts worked out really nicely, as you can see. High of day breaks, beautiful moves, and then carried on. Massive R's on these if you had traded it, right? So that's RIVN. I'm keeping that. Lucid, I have been swinging this, as you know, in the in the stream. I talk about this. I have been swinging from around the lows of here. Actually, it could have been. Might be wrong on it. 24s, 25s. I think this area here, because I had, I build up positions on these things, so average is a little bit hard for me to figure out. I think around 24 to 25s. But I've taken quite a bit out here, and then on this pull, on this push as well, some. But I still have enough to let it carry on. So it's doing well. What I will expect this to do is slightly get a little bit more continuation, or today there might be some choppy price action. So to be honest, I expect a little bit of a choppy price action because it has been trending up nicely. Even slight red might not be out of question here. So yeah, keeping that lucid here, slightly long biased in the long run, but short biased in the short term, if that makes sense. I'll talk about SPY in a minute. Sophie, again, I have been swinging this from the average of 17s. Took quite a few out here around 20s, and then on this push as well, some out, and then I've got not much left, to be honest. And I'm just carrying on to hold this until it breaks 20s or 90s. Ideally, I will hold this for a runner. But for a day trade, I think this might have a continuation to the downside a little bit. In my opinion, yesterday was quite red. I tried to take out the highs, couldn't, and carried on fading off, right? So I believe that there might be a gap fill from yesterday, gap fill attempt. So I'm watching that for that purpose only. And even if it does start to creep back up, I don't think it will have that much of a strength to carry on and take out the highs. So in that case, shorts might have more probability of working out on this, Sophie. EVGO, again guys, EV runners, right? I don't have to say anything. NEO, XPEV, these are all EV watch lists, guys. I have plenty of these. All of these are EV related because of the recent bill. So we're going to be keeping an eye on EVGOs, Teslas, plugs, and XPEVs, and NEOs and RIVNs all together. These are all sector plays, EV sector plays. Or so what we're gonna next, TTTD. This was actually, I kept it because it was an earnings play, and I believe this might have a continuation, slight continuation coming into it, because it did have that healthy pullback after the earnings play move. So that reaction to earnings, really decent reaction, because it was a good earnings report for them, yeah. And then that was the reaction, and then the healthy pullback, and the continuation could come in to this. I'm watching definitely yesterday's highs right here, TTDD 9250s. If it starts to break, it's already trading above it, so that's a good sign. This might have a continuation. Now if it does carry on and pull back to this area here and then starts to hold, that's even better entry for long opportunities. Right, I've kept BKKT because I feel like this might have some really decent moves coming in the next week or so, because this has quite a lot of high short interest in it, and to be honest, this has some catalyst behind it, strong catalyst behind it. So for this to fade off all the way to 10s, I don't think that makes sense, since they have done the partnership deal with MasterCard. As far as I know, that still is intact, and if that's the case, then this could be a really proper dip buy scenario where it starts to bounce back off of these 25 levels. That's why I kept it. Could be a decent opportunity, but not one of my main watches. Maybe I'll keep it on the side for the next week or so. All right, so that's BKKT BGFV. Quite a lot of overextension on the daily. So on this one, guys, I'm looking at a slight bit of a fade off. So today, hopefully, it's going to look like, I mean, uh, even though if it's a small red on this name, it could be $2, $3, $4 as well. So yeah, it could give us some decent R's on our risks. FOSL, again, I'm watching this from yesterday. Another continuation to the downside could come into this, but bearing in mind that this might have an SSR, I'm pretty sure it does. So still, it could fade off. So short biased on it. And FCX, I kept this because the daily looks really, really good on this. And, you know, the only thing we have is about 42 level here. So if that gets broken, then yeah, we've got some room on this. Now, why I kept it is I'm a little bit long biased on it because it took off the congestion area here on the daily. This was the congestion area from here to all the way to the bottom, to the lows, and it started to take it out with good volume. So continuation could come into this second day continuation, which will be to ideally you want to be waiting to break the highs 41.25s and see what it does around that area. So FCX for a long opportunity, and the rest fossil FOSL we talked about, pretty much everything we talked about. I'm gonna quickly go through the I don't have to really, because on this stream as well I go through these every now and then. But pretty much this watch list you see on the EV watch is all related to that 1.2 trillion bill pass on the infrastructure. So these are all going to, they have all been affected. Even the weakest of them all, for example, Nikola's and your WKHSs, they've been affected by it positively. So definitely keep an eye on EV watches, all of these. There's quite a lot of more to add on this, but it just get a bit too overcrowded as well on the watch list. That's why I kept it to these. Earnings. Now on earnings, guys, pretty much Fossil was based off of earnings, gapped up pretty much because of that, I believe. And then trying to find the I think what happened with Fossil was gapped up too much and then went it went to attack the 20s very quickly. So if it had gone a bit slowly, and that's not sustainable move, is it, this one? So opens up around 18s and then carries on to hit that 20s. Yeah, very, very a choppy price action. Those kind of moves don't seem to last, so that's why it faded off and just carried on fading. Right, so today I am expecting a little bit of a fade off on that. We talked about that. TTD we talked about. FUBU also is a an earnings play, quite weak. But I'm not watching this, guys. It's just all beaten down. There could be a bounce coming in on this. On the earnings, the only thing I'm watching is FOSLs. AMC, I've kept it off of my watch list for a while because it could chop around a bit. And I'm also watching Roblox. Now Roblox as well, very similar to earlier what we were talking about on I believe I think FCX, not really. Which one was it? The one that I might be, okay, I might have seen something. No, I can't. Earlier I saw something very, very close to Roblox. Anyways, so Roblox is, I think, a continuation could come in for the long side, to the upside. So I'm watching that 100 level. Very, very, very important level to keep an eye throughout the day, in fact. So you wanna If it does reach there, I'll probably put an alert there, and I want to see how it reacts around that level. Now that could be a rejection as well as a continuation. So if it starts to hold and reject from it, that could be the sign that the stock can't go any further, at least for a short term. So keep an eye on that 100 level on Roblox. And if it does start to take that out and starts to trade over it, then we could look to long it for a possible continuation to the upside. Right. Right. Also, an earnings play today is gapping down. That's the issue with it, right? Because of the earnings, it's gapping down. So I think this could bring in more continuation to the downside if it pops. And if it doesn't, then it could be a nice little bounce as well. But I don't see much opportunities, to be honest, on this one. So on earnings, FOSL and Roblox plays would be kind of decent to watch. That's pretty much it, guys. I have tried to do it slightly quicker, but coming next week, I will try to do this pre-market watch list talk or analysis a little bit early and post the video as soon as I can before the market opens, so that we have some time and get ready for the open properly. Hope you like the video, and I'll see you in the live stream, guys. Take it easy. Cheers.